No, we'll definitely. No, honey.
Good evening. The time is now 7 o'clock, and I'd like to call the Beloit City Council meeting to order at this time. First order of business is roll call.
There are 6 councilors present. Regina Duncan is absent.
Second order of business is pledge of allegiance. May we all stand, please. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Third item of business is special orders of the day and announcements. Item 3A, we have newly hired and promoted employees. I'll be asking Chief of the Police Department to come down, and also Nick from the library. We have some representatives. We'll ask Chief to come first, and then we'll follow up with Nick.
Good evening, councilors. I present to you Officer Logan Lang. He's currently on an FTO program. We got him from formerly Village of Albany PD. And Zachary Steck, who is currently at the Black Hawk Tech Academy. We plucked him from Western Illinois University, so we're excited to have both of these gentlemen on board.
Great college, great college. Welcome. And just so everyone knows, the reason we do this is so when you see these officers and individuals that we introduce in the city or around town, you know who they are. So this is something that we started this year, and we want to continue it so the public can get a chance to see who you are. Okay, thank you and welcome.
Welcome to
Nick.
Mr. President, council members, good to see you again. I'm very happy to be here to introduce a new member of our team. You may have heard we've gone from departments to focus on services instead of silos, really looking across the landscape of the library. And what was key to that is having 3 heads, and head of library services, head of library resources, and now the head of programming and partnerships. And it's Christy Helmkamp, who has just joined us 2 weeks now. And she comes to us from Appleton, so I thought I would just have her say hello quick.
Hello, everyone. I'm really excited to be here and looking forward to what we can do at the library through all of this. So, thank you.
Thank you.
And as you know, we have not so quick. As you know, we have a lot of great partnerships that are kicking off at the Black Hawk Technical College. We've had State Line Literacy Council, and now we have the Southwest Wisconsin Workforce Development Board, all co-locating to various degrees within the library. And so Christy's job, of course, will not only be maintaining those partnerships, but building on them. So we look forward to exciting things. Thanks.
Thank you. 3B, please.
Is a proclamation declaring August 19th through the 25th as Pride Week.
Councilor Anderson is filling in for Vice President Duncan this evening.
All right, we have a representative from Yellow Brick Road that wants to come up. That's fine, that's fine. I can't leave that. All right. Whereas Rock County Pride Fest, sponsored by the Yellow Brick Road organization on August 25th, 2018, is an important cultural event that contributes to the greater Beloit area's economic vitality by attracting visitors for family activities and entertainment. And whereas our community is in the forefront
of efforts to establish a caring, compassionate society that is based on the inherent dignity of all of its members. And whereas we recognize that a fundamental strength of our community lies in our diversity, and we therefore take an active role in eliminating forms of discrimination and disadvantage. And whereas Pride Week celebrates our diverse sexual and gender identities, histories, cultures, courage, families, and friends. Now, therefore, the City Council of the City of Beloit proclaims the week of August 19th through the 25th as Pride Week in the City of Beloit, and encourages citizens to continue to raise awareness about discrimination and other barriers affecting employment, housing, public safety, policing, healthcare, education, and the recognition of family relationships. Presented on August 20th, 2018.
Hi everyone, I'm Marilyn Shu. I'm the president and co-founder of Yellowbrook Road. And on behalf of Yellowbrook Road, we just want to thank you very much for being so inviting. We've had some issues with other areas in our county, and having this proclamation is very, very important to us. Thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Mr. President.
Councilor Blakely.
Before the folks leave, is it appropriate just to ask for a quick rundown of the time and place for Pride Day at Telfair? Could you just say a couple words about that? Thanks.
Oh, sure. Oh, we have so much going on. So August 25th, the park will be open from 10 o'clock to 10 p.m. for Pride Fest. We'll have a couple of drag shows. We'll have a pageant for Mr. and Mrs. Rock the Pride 2018, and a couple bands, live vocals, games, children's area, face painting, a couple carnival games, and concessions. I'm probably missing some things.
That sounds
But
like a full day.
all family friendly and all appropriate for all ages.
Okay. Thank you. Item 3C, please.
We have a proclamation supporting the 2018 Rock County Clean Sweep Program.
Councilor Anderson.
Whereas unwanted hazardous chemicals stored in homes, farms, and the workplace are a threat to human health and the environment. And whereas hazardous chemicals are not safe in normal refuse or recycling streams. And whereas safe disposal of hazardous chemicals is cost prohibitive to most residents of Rock County. And whereas the annual Rock County Clean Sweep Program provides a safe and affordable disposal of hazardous chemicals from homes, farms, and eligible Rock County businesses. And whereas the Rock County Clean Sweep seeks the support for competitive state grants and local funding. And whereas the final Clean Sweep collection of 2018 will take place on Saturday, August 25th, 2018, from 9 to 11 a.m. at the Rock County Public Works Garage, located at 3715 Newville Road in Janesville. And whereas Rock County residents must sign up in advance for this event by calling the Rock County Land Conservation Department at 608-754-6617, extension number 4758. Now, therefore, the Beloit City Council, Rock County, Wisconsin, does hereby fully support the 2018 Rock County Clean Sweep Program, encouraging all residents to clean up their property, dispose of hazardous waste, and recycle year-round. Adopted this 20th day of August 2018.
Thank you. 3D, please.
We have recognition of the Hendricks Career Tech Kruger Golf Club House restroom remodeling.
Director Williamson.
Thank you very much, and it's a very exciting night tonight. We're going to be showcasing some volunteer work that we're able to do in partnership with the Hendricks Career Tech and CCI Corporation. So if I may, I'd like to at least show a video and ask Lindsay to join me, please. Lindsay Hartwig, who is with CCI, as well as Tina Salzman, if you could join me as well with Hendricks Career Tech. We'd like to take a few minutes and show you a quick video, or excuse me, a quick couple of slides. What we're showing you here is all of the crew, the kids that we're going to be recognizing here in a minute, and it was high school kids that came out that were part of the Career Tech. Do you want to say a few words about what that is, Tina?
Sure. So Hendricks Career Tech is a relatively new space in our community. We're about 18 months old, and one of the things that we have initiated over the summer months are what we call career academies. So we're in our second summer of doing these, and this year, in partnership with CCI and the City of Beloit, we engaged on an advanced construction project that took us over the course of 4 days, and we saw a remodel of the Kruger-Haskell men's and women's locker rooms. So we had a team of about 13 young people. The prerequisite was having some prior construction experience, knowledge, whether that be through one of our academies or through a course at school. So that is your team of student experts that embarked on the journey over the 4 days.
And they were very, very flexible in working with us because they brought a project. We had done a project with you last year, and it was planters. And so Lori Luther had said to me, do we have a project? And so very quickly, we were able to go from planters to a complete remodel of the restroom. So it was really an exploration exercise for all of us, and very, very excited about what the results are, as you will see here in a minute. And what we're showing you are before, and that's the before photos. Those are before photos of just what this looked like. And what you're seeing on the
left is
the left, exactly, there you go. The left is the women's. I was trying to get my left and right. The left is the women's, and then where you're seeing the green and white tile, that is the men's. And that, again, is the locker areas before. And now you can see some of the shots of the kids that are working, and we actually had some of our restroom facilities actually repaired as well as a part of that. So we're in A-top shape. And there again, we took out a wall, as you will see, so it really opened up the space in the women's locker room area. And there's some more of the kids, and we have a storage area now for the team as well. Some more of the work, and they resanded and refinished all of the benches that everybody was sitting on, the wood benches. And even the furniture, and I'm so excited about this because at first we weren't sure what we were going to do about the furniture and how we were going to leverage the budget. And so it was one of those, we were just standing there and Lindsay's like, well, I think we could paint it. I said, sure, go for it. And before you know it, this furniture looks spectacular. Awesome job to the kids that did that. And I want to also, I don't know, you'll see it in a minute, but the furniture, you won't even recognize this furniture. And they even made for the handles little golf balls. So it's a golf ball pull. I mean, that's how innovative this team and the staff was. It was just exciting. There is the locker room for the men, and it's so open air now. And there's some of the crew from CCI that joined us as well. And that's the photos. And I would be remiss as well as if I didn't also recognize Mark Edwards and Mark Young, who also worked very closely with us. Raise your hands, guys, to help us put this together too, because it was really a joint effort of everybody thinking outside of the box of what we might be able to do. So with that, I would like to recognize also some of the companies that we partnered with. It was approximately 600 hours of volunteer time between the students that we're going to recognize in a moment, as well as the contractors that were there, and Lindsay headed it up, and Tina made sure all the kids were there and were corralled, and just was a wonderful, wonderful 4 days when you went there. I don't care what kind of day you were having, if you went there and you saw that excitement, you had to be excited. So I want to recognize Brett Butters Fetting that was there as a company, Carpet Market that was there as well, Corporate Contractors Inc. And what we're handing out are certificates, just certificates of excellence, just to thank them for all of their time and effort in putting this together. We have Grome's Millwork that volunteered their time, and then of course Hendricks Career Tech, and then Morse Electric. And those were the companies that actually provided us their services at cost or actually volunteered some of their time. The total scope of the project, if we were to do it and bid it, would have been around $60,000 approximately. The city paid for the materials, which was $16,000. So that was a huge leveraging. So if I could, I'd like to have all the kids come up as well, all of you that are able to attend. And Julia, you need to come up here too, Julia, because you were our architect that worked on this as well. And I'd like to read the names very quickly, and please raise your hand. And Alexis Bell, actually, you will see some artwork that she did in the women's, and she freehand, and it's beautiful. And I hear there might be some more artwork in the making, as I understand, possibly. That's what I'm understanding. So she did an awesome job. So some of the names behind me and all the kids that are behind me, we have Brandon Black, Nathan Black, Andre Kefano, I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that, I apologize, Doug Clark, Matt Clift, Susan Day. Susan is here with us. We also had Jack Fletcher, Tate, Galvin, Conrad, Elias, Leighton, Greenberg, Lindsay Hartwig, which I've already introduced, and her husband Mark, who was not able to join us, Benjamin Lesher, Jose Malgoza, Seth Nathan, Julia Randalls, who was our architect who helped us pick out the colors and the materials. She was invaluable. Jason Repta, Tina Salzman, who I've already announced, Brad Thom, Jay Tubal, and Pete Woodkey. So, again, congratulations to all of you. For all of your
And I don't know, did the students get certificates as well? If not, can we make
yes,
sure?
they
Okay,
did.
I want to make, okay, just
They were
wanted to make
handed
sure.
out in advance.
Okay,
I didn't
just
want to
wanted make
take up
sure.
as much time.
No, that's fine, so just
And-
wanted to make sure they get recognized.
Gentlemen, did you want to say a few words about what are you hearing for, we are getting a grave response, but if you don't mind, I'd like to have
That's
Mark
fine.
mention that very quickly, and then we'll get you back to your meeting. I
That's fine.
apologize.
That's okay.
We would rather do this.
No, actually, the comments from the golfers have been very, very positive. They've loved what the kids in CCI and Career Tech did. From the start to finish, they did everything very professionally. The kids worked very hard. They had a lot of energy, and they did a great job. And we've heard nothing but great comments from the golfers. So it was a very positive and very good thing for the golf course.
Concessions.
Oh, yes, and our concessionaire from the Putters Pub, they are very happy with what we did at the clubhouse, and they're looking forward to working with us next year, too. So it's been very, very, very positive.
Okay. Now, do we have some kind of certificate or plaque or something on site? So when the public goes in there, because if we're talking about a good partnership here, it's not only good for the city, but other people who may come can see how we're partnering with our youth in the city. So I think it would be a
Yes.
great idea if we can put a plaque or something out there with names or whatever, however we want to do it. But I think anytime we take on a project like this and they do outstanding work like this, that I would highly suggest we put something out there to let the public and the community know what we're doing.
Very
And we're
good.
not letting them away with this one. We've already told them they do not need to look any further. We've got plenty of other projects to
Right.
get going. So, again, thank you,
So,
everybody, for
thank
coming
you.
out. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Item 4 is public hearings. We have none this evening. Item 5 is public comments. We have reached a point on the agenda where citizens may come forward and speak on items that's not on the agenda. We are limiting you to 3 minutes. I will not cut you off, but I'll give you a friendly reminder that you're approaching your 3-minute mark. We do ask you to refrain from any personal attacks from staff, city councilors. If we seem to go down that road, I will ask you to sit down immediately. We do ask individuals to fill out a form. If you did not fill out the form, you can still step forward at this time and give your name and address for the record. First call for public hearings. Is there anyone wishing to speak on item 5, public comments this evening? Please step forward and state your name for the record. You can step up, state your name and address for the record, and
Billy Jones, 311 St. Lawrence Avenue. I came last week, and I asked you guys to kind of help me guide me through organizing this event, the Beloit Family Reunion.
Okay.
We were already behind schedule with our planning, and we caught a lot of time constraints, but we finally found a sponsor. We've been in touch with Parks and Recreations, and I talked to Lori, And if I can talk to Lori again after the meeting or sometime, I can move some more stuff forward.
Okay.
As far as the event, but we missed a few time constraints, so we know we're going to kind of put you guys under some pressure on approving a few things. So
Pressure, that's what we live for, pressure.
Hey, that's what I'm here for, to give it to you guys.
And actually, we had a conversation before the meeting tonight, and Lori is actually waiting to get with you to discuss further what you need to do from here. So we've already kind of been in contact with it, so if you can definitely contact with her, if not tonight, first thing in the morning to see what we need to do. So
Okay. And I have some information for you guys.
And if you want to give that to Lori, we could definitely, she would definitely make sure that we all get that, so.
Yeah, it shouldn't take too long.
Yeah, so, okay.
Thank you.
No problem. Anyone else wishing to speak under public comments this evening? Third and final call, anyone wishing to speak under public comments this evening? Seeing none, I will close that portion of the agenda and move to item 6, consent agenda.
All items listed under the consent agenda are considered routine and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no separate discussion of these items unless a council member so requests, in which event the item will be removed from the general order of business and considered at this point on the agenda.
Thank you. The consent agenda consists of items 6A through 6G. Is there anyone who would like anything removed from the consent agenda? Seeing none, is there approval to approve the consent agenda 6A through 6G? Motion by Preschel, is there a second? Second by Blakely. Any questions, comments, or concerns? Seeing none, all those in favor of approval say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, passes 6-0. Item 7, licenses, please.
This is consideration of Resolution 2018-151 for the approval and denial of applicants for an alcohol beverage operator bartender's license for the period of July 31st through August 13th. Before you tonight are two recommendations for approval, two recommendations for denial. The denial's timeframe for appealing has passed.
Thank you. Is there a motion to approve?
I so move.
Motion by Forback. Is there a second? Second by Jacobson. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of approval say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, passes 6-0. Item 8, ordinances. We have none this evening. Item 9, appointments. 9A, please.
There is one appointment tonight to the Equal Opportunities Commission. Gerson Artresh, replacing Kevin D. Young for a term ending June 30th, 2019.
Is there a motion to approve?
I so move.
Motion by Forback. Is there a second? Second by Blakely. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of approval say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, passes 6-0. Item 10, council activities and upcoming events. Councilor Forback.
Oh, my gosh.
I spent today at the hearing that was out at Turner High School, the hearing of the state board, listening to both sides of the issue of the town of Beloit incorporating into a village. So that was long and it was interesting. I was glad I was there. Second thing is just the usual fun stuff in Beloit, just the farmer's market, and I'm very excited. We live downtown and there's going to be a couple new restaurants that Ken and I can spend 1 or 2 minutes walking to shortly, so that's good news. So that's it.
Thank you. Councilor Preschel.
I too attended the Incorporation Review Board's public hearing at Turner High School this afternoon. It was very interesting, hearing all the sides presented. Citizens of Beloit should be paying attention to this issue. It will, depending on the outcome, it could affect our greater Beloit area permanently for decades to come, and not, in my opinion, in a good way. Anyway, but I really want to hit on the fact that I volunteered, Lori, got that, volunteered, to help at the polls last week on Tuesday during the primary election. It's the first time I've had an opportunity to do this, thanks to the changes in the laws that now allowed me to do that, as long as I'm on the ballot. And I volunteered because I don't think it's right to pay me for this, wonderful thing, but I wouldn't suggest anybody volunteer unless they can afford to spend 12 hours of their day in a polling place. It was wonderful, very well organized. It runs very, very smoothly, Lori. I thought we were not even close to being done and ready to shut up, and the next thing I know, the closet door is closing and locking, and we're walking out of the room, and I was like, wow, that's it, folks. So somewhere along the line, they got that all downloaded, and everything was done. And it's a long day, and there's a lot involved. It's a very detail-oriented process. There's a lot of people that come together, and you think when you're going to the polls that, it's just a number. But there's all this stuff that's got to balance. It's like, I have to balance my checkbook, okay, but I don't have to balance 6 different things just to arrive at one conclusion, which apparently you do when you're conducting an election. You want to make sure everything comes out exactly as it was supposed to, without revealing who voted for whom. And so it was a very, very interesting experience. I'm really glad I did it. I would encourage everybody that has the time and the inclination and qualifies as an election official to look into doing so. Thank you.
Councilor Jacobson.
I would probably just echo Mark's comments. Thank you to the clerk's office. Every primary, every election is a lot of work. Just like Mark said, they close up, but that doesn't mean the work's done for the clerk's office. So they prepare in advance. I voted absentee early, and so they have to then run those at the end, and so I know it's a lot of work, and just want to commend them and thank you to my fellow counselor for volunteering. Also, just to echo what we said earlier, is that we on the council like to see partnerships between businesses, and especially when it helps students in the city. I mean, it's a win-win for everybody. Just to remind you, if you heard what Laura said earlier, was that, you know, they saved us over $35,000 with this time that they did with the students. And also, you know, I like to see other companies. It sounds like there were electrical companies and plumbing companies and engineering firms and things that helped us. So that's a great thing to see the city is doing partnerships. And I like to see when we have new employees at the city too, and some of it's just about relationship building and making sure that we're keeping those things going. So kudos to the city staff and Career Tech and Lindsay and Tina and Julia and all the companies that helped, and especially the students, because they can put that on their resume and hopefully continue to serve. Thank you.
Councilor Anderson.
Thank you. Really, the only thing I have to say is thank you to everybody who voted in the primary election, and if for some reason you decided not to make it to the polls this time, you have another chance in November. So you have quite a bit of time to read up on the candidates, make a good decision, and get out and vote, and hopefully volunteer as the poll workers too, because they always need help, don't they, Lori?
Yes.
Yep. So that's all I have. Thank you.
Councilor Blakely.
I want to thank Mark for volunteering too. He was at my polling place. It was like I walked into the Magic Kingdom. Then my favorite table, I knew all three people for my ward, sitting right there, and there was Mark. I was thrilled. It made voting even more exciting, so thank you, truly. And I want to send out a big thank you to the city's engineering department, especially to Jason Dupuy. I was contacted by a couple local residents who had a severe problem they were dealing with on their street. So they contacted me in the morning. I got on the phone and got steered toward Jason, our traffic engineer, and within just a few hours, he, along with the help of others, had solved the problem for this couple. Now they think I'm bread and jelly, but I explained to them how much help the city stepped in with. So thanks again to the engineering department and everyone else at the city who works so hard and cares about the people living here in our fair city.
Thank you. Just a couple things. I would like to thank city staff. As you see, the city manager has arrived. She's been at the hearing all day. But I want to thank all the city staff who also took time out to attend all day and then leave there and come to the city council meeting. But not only that, but spend countless hours preparing information and looking over documents. We want to, on behalf of the council, I think I can say that we greatly appreciate the work you continue to do, because I'm sure it's not over yet. But I just want to thank you. I'm sure it was very tedious, or very, you'd probably say I got tons of stuff to do at the office, but to sit there and take part in that is greatly appreciated. To the counselors that also attended, we appreciate that as well. So I say that to let the citizens know that even though you may not see a lot of times what staff or council people do, we are out there fighting in the trenches every day. As Councilor Blakely said, we do get phone calls, and we try to fix the problems as they arise, as we hear about them. So staff also has to work with that as well. So I just want to, once again, as we often do, thank staff for what they do each and every day for the city. And it's greatly appreciated. So that's the first thing. Also, Saturday I had the opportunity to attend the swag event. As you remember, last meeting we had individuals come forward where we donated backpacks. Overwhelming overwhelming turnout. I would guess over 1,000 people participated. I mean, families were there. Kids were getting backpacks and school supplies, and they had plenty. And I just want to say hats off not only to that organization, but to any organization that has set aside time to get our students ready to go back to school. If there's any parent that's out there that needs school supplies, there's a plethora of organizations in the city that is giving out free school supplies. To take advantage of this opportunity, I'm not going to tell my age, but when I was growing up, a lot of that didn't happen. So parents, if you're looking at where you can go get assistance, it's out there. Just continue to look in the paper, and it's there. And then finally, the kids are getting ready to go back to school, so please drive carefully, look out for them. They're going to be excited. They may run out into the street, so we want to make sure that everyone is being cautious. When you see the crossing guards, that means to slow down. When you see the yellow lights, that means to slow down. And yes, it's been on the news, so 4th Street will be closed this year on a trial basis. So we did receive a couple of phone calls over the weekend. Thank you, Sarah, for getting information out again. And that's one of the things that we stressed when we met with the school board, that we wanted to make sure that it gets highly publicized, because the last thing we want is for people to wake up the first day of school and say, what happened? When did they close 4th Street? So thank you to everyone. And I'm going to say this, it was not just the city that did it. It's the school district and the city and working together and made this decision. So I wanted to clear that up, because a couple of phone calls I received, we were getting the blame for it, but I quickly said, no, this was a joint effort. So we want to make sure, and if you watch the video that was out on Facebook, you would probably see why we did it, for safety reasons. Yes, they're older kids. We get that. But it doesn't matter the age. When you look at the safety of the city and the safety of our citizens, we as city council and school board people have to look at that and take that seriously. So once again, thank you all for everything that you do. Thank you, city manager, for taking the time to go fight for us with this, at the city, for the city. And we greatly appreciate that. So with that, we conclude the council comments. And we move to item 11, which is city manager's presentation. There are none. We'll move to item 12, report from boards and city officers. 12A, please.
We have consideration of Resolution 2018-152, terminating tax incremental financing district number 6 and authorizing the city clerk treasurer to distribute excess increment to overlying tax districts.
Mr. Miller.
Good evening. So in September of 1991, the City Council passed a resolution to create TIF District number 6 in the city. That is commonly referred to as the Riverside Park TIF District, for those wondering. And since then, all of the projects have been complete, and we have met the statutory 27-year limit for the TIF District's life. And so we will now, before you tonight, is the resolution to close that TIF. The timing is past the April 15th statutory deadline, which means that we'll still certify the TIF district for next year to receive increment. So even though it is closed, we'll still receive increment in the 2019 budget, and that increment will be used to pay off the remaining debt service in the TID. At that point, we will go through the proper calculations to distribute all of the excess funds that remain in the TIF to all the overlying jurisdictions, and then officially it will come off the tax rolls. So before you tonight is the resolution to close the TIF.
Is there a motion to approve? Motion by Jacobson. Is there a second by Presho? Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all in favor of approval, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, passes 6-0. And before we go to item 12B, I would be remiss if I did not take this opportunity to wish Mark and his wife a very happy anniversary tomorrow. For those of you who may be friends with Mark, I encourage you to please go on Facebook and look at the picture of him and his wife when he sat down to tell his parents that he was getting married. The quite distinct difference that you will see. Go out and just take a look. That's all I can say. 12B, please.
The city may adjourn into closed session pursuant to Section 19851E, Wisconsin Stats, to deliberate or negotiate the purchasing of public properties, the investing of public funds, or the conducting of other specified public businesses, whenever competitive or bargaining reasons require a closed session, namely to discuss the sale of 1410 Yates and 1414 Yates. The council may reconvene into open session and take action on the matter discussed in the closed session.
Is there a motion to go to close?
So moved.
Motion by Preschel, is there a second? Second by Anderson. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. We are in closed session. I would remind council to leave here, go straight to the conference room, please. Thank you. Are they still talking?
Those cookies, everybody talk.
You know, you put me right off the diet, you know, that and a pumpkin bar this
What did you
afternoon.
put in those cookies? My goodness.
We are live. We're live.
That was a total joke.
I know.
You'll have to have your
I know.
husband show you that picture.
Is there a motion to, can I read?
So moved.
No,
Oh.
no.
We need a motion to go into open
I
session.
need a motion to go into open session. Right, that's what I was getting at.
doing.
Motion by Preschel, is there a second? Second by Jacobson. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none. We're back in open session. Madam Clerk, please.
We have a resolution authorizing the sale of 1410 Yates Avenue and 1414 Yates Avenue to Guadalupe Flores Jr.
Is there a motion to approve?
I so moved.
Motion by Forbach, is there a second? Second by Blakely. Any questions or comments? Seeing none, all those in favor of approval say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Hearing none, passes 6-0. Is there a motion to adjourn? Motion by Jacobson, is there a second?
Second.
Second by Anderson. Any questions or comments? Seeing and hearing none, all those in favor of adjournment say aye. Aye. Any opposed? We are adjourned. Thank you.